Toy Soup, located in the heart of St. Jacobs, is so much more than a traditional toy store. It's a magical place. From the creaking wood floors and 24-foot ceilings to the beautifully stained glass windows, Toy Soup is 3,000 square feet, fully accessible and packed with tons of great toys, games, puppets, novelties, mind teasers, and award-winning strategic thinking games for kids and adults of all ages. From Spot It to Cahoots to Anomia, these interactive games provide families with countless hours of fun, challenging visual perception, memory, and matching skills. There's also a new puzzle room featuring a big selection of Ravensburger, Cobble Hill, Eurographics, and White Mountain jigsaw puzzles. Since opening Toy Soup in 2006, owners Rob and Lisa Boulian have remained selective in which items they bring into the store, with a discerning eye for toys they feel have good educational value for kids and toddlers. They are truly passionate about play, imagination, and creativity. With in-store demos and personal insights, the staff is always quick to assist in choosing the perfect gift for a child of any age. And you'll certainly find something for that hard-to-buy-for person at Toy Soup. For Rob and Lisa, it's all about quality as they stock the toys and games they love and have items that you won't see on just any toy shelf. Toy Soup is unique and unlike any toy store you've ever seen, and you can check them out at toysoupcanada.com. Follow Bonn Park Podcast and @toy_soup on Instagram. Bonn Park is supported by Soul Cuisine. For 40 years, Soul Cuisine has helped people eat healthier. What started in 1980 as a high-quality tofu maker for Toronto's vegetarian restaurants, Soul Cuisine has grown into a trusted supplier for retailers and restaurants seeking products with gluten-free, kosher, halal, non-GMO, and organic plant-based options. With a focus on natural 100% plant-based foods that taste great, Soul Cuisine offers amazing veggie burgers, breakfast patties, tofu, and other frozen and fresh meat alternatives. Plant-based alternatives have many environmental and health benefits over the traditional animal-based food system. If you think meat alternatives aren't for you, then you likely haven't tried Soul Cuisine's scrumptious appetizers like their crispy chicken bites or flavorful entrees like crispy tempura fishless fillets or their hot and spicy chicken wings. Love to grill? Try their extreme griller burger, sunflower beet burger, or a mushroom and wild rice burger. And after all these years, Soul Cuisine still does amazing tofu, like their organic artisan tofu and sprouted tofu, handcrafted with care. At Soul Cuisine, it's about quality. It's about taste. It's about offering sustainable plant-based food choices that consumers will love. Soul Cuisine products are available at natural food stores and major grocers in Canada and the United States. Visit them online at soulcuisine.com to find a store near you. You can also find them on Instagram at Soul Cuisine. We are supported by Confidence. Celebrating 26 years this fall, Confidence Studio is about inspiring students and enhancing confidence, and of course, amazing dance moves. But the routines themselves are only a fraction of what students learn at Confidence. They learn life skills like perseverance, dedication, and teamwork. Owner Joanne Flanagan says it's about teaching the whole person. When a person has poise and confidence, it translates to their dance. And Joanne's team of passionate dance experts all remember how intimidating it can be to begin dancing. That's why Confidence first aims to build the confidence of beginner students in a comfortable environment. Then everyone can have fun learning jazz, tap, kinder dance, or other genres. The multi-award-winning studio has a full range of offerings, from beginners classes to advanced lessons for experienced teens in styles including hip-hop, breakdance, tap, and more. New students are always welcome at the Confidence Studio at 625 Wabanaki Drive in Kitchener. And Joanne is thrilled to now be seeing second-generation Confidence students coming with their Confidence alumni parents. Parents know that their kids will have fun learning moves at Confidence, but will also grow meaningfully as young people there. To learn more, visit confidencestudio.ca or follow them on Instagram at confidence5678.
Welcome to Bonn Park.
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 Welcome to Bonn Park. I'm Sara Geidlinger.
And I'm Marshall Ward.
And today we have Scott Boyd, the magician.
Yeah, Scott Boyd works around Waterloo region here and does adult shows, but also primarily does shows for families and kids.
He does. He's very charismatic. He actually looks a little bit and speaks a little bit like Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
I get that vibe from him.
He does.
Yeah, handsome, charismatic. You can find him at scottboydmagic.com,
Yeah.
and he's going to perform some tricks for us.
Yeah, I love podcasting and magic. It's a great combination.
I think it's kind of cool. He also tells a lot about his story and what brought him to magic. It's an exciting episode.
It sure is. Come on in, Scott.
Scott Boyd, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
We're very excited to have you here.
Likewise.
We usually start by saying how we met, but this is our first time meeting you. And we knew you were the magician right away based on your outfit.
Thank you. Yes, play the part. Play the part. It's a very important thing for me, at least. You don't want any questions. Are you the magician?
Yeah. You want people to know right away.
Yeah.
That was what you were telling us. So you were telling us that you bought a book about verbal magic.
Yes. Interestingly enough, it was a book published in Spanish a long time ago, like several years ago.
Really?
By Juan Tamariz. And they transcribed it, I suppose, with the help of another gentleman, and named it in English Verbal Magic. It came to the market, and I purchased this book. I don't usually I don't purchase magic. I buy books, learn through books, and then build my own sets or routines. Some things are gimmicks you need to buy, but books are where it's at for me, at least. And I believe that that's where we need to go. Fast forwarding, I thought I needed to buy this book to prepare for today. Instead of fumbling over the material that I had just learned, I decided not to do that. But now I have this book that I plan to use, called Verbal Magic. And what it is it's magic in your hands. So I actually don't perform any magic. I would ask you to bring a deck of cards or some paper or some pens, some writing materials, everyday props. And through instructions of the magician, you do the magic. And I thought that was such a wonderful idea. The experience of magic so when you learn these tricks from this book, you fool yourself because he's giving you instructions. And all of a sudden, this revelation happens, this miracle happens, and you've done it from instructions of a magician. How cool would that be, you know?
That's awesome.
So this whole book, it says it has over 40, magicians call tricks effects. It has over 40 effects in this book. So I mean, for what I paid for this book, it's like $1 a trick.
Right. How many tricks are no, I'm just kidding. That's great. Well, how wonderful to have the foresight to prepare for whatever it is that your future of your performing is going to look like, right?
So I have performed 2 shows since COVID has started, and it is more or less me in an open mic stand-up format, and I'm a family magician, so I entertain young children. I'm great at entertaining 4 and 5-year-olds, but I'm very interactive. I'm touching them. We're shaking hands. We're goofing off. I put this on, putting clothes and glasses and funny stuff on through the routines. And I had to abandon all of that. I can't do that. So what I've adapted to is I have a hand station, I guess, for you can pump the hand sanitizer. If you want to look at the props, put on a mask so that they can say, yeah, that's a real apple, for example.
That's part of the real of the
magic. You want to be able
right?
to touch these things. Why can't I see it? So circling back, this verbal magic is you do it. The magician, when I perform magic in front of people, I am a sleight of hand artist. So that's mainly what I do. Everything I do is sleight of hand. And it is the goal that, I didn't see you do it. Perfect. Now you're going to do it.
Right.
And how cool would that be? And so I'm not prepared to show something like that for you guys. But it is my goal. It's where I'm headed right now.
So you're trained as a mechanical engineering technologist.
Correct.
And that wasn't exciting enough for you.
It's not that it wasn't exciting. It was not my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I have 2 young children, and what COVID has done for me is allowed me to work from home, and I think that that's fantastic. So before COVID hit, my goal was how do I work from home and take my kids to school and be there and eat lunch with them.
That's the dream.
Right. And so I've always worked in engineering roles, project management, boardrooms. You got to be there by a certain time. I don't like that. I don't like that lifestyle. So I decided I was going to change it. And oddly enough, I have many, many, many hobbies. I do 3D printing. In my basement, I play guitar. I can do
trombone. You were telling me.
Well, I've played the trombone.
Fifth grade.
We'll leave it at that. I've played the trombone. So I have hobbies. I always like learning. I'm always learning. I always have a book. And magic is where I now don't have any other hobbies. Magic was where the 3D printing I do is just facilitate the tricks I want to make
Right.
for magic. So magic has consumed my life, so much so that I would work all day thinking about magic and come home and learn magic, and then go to work and show the people magic before becoming an actual magician, and then making a website and making it go. I ate, slept, everything was magic. So then I started having young children, and magic is expensive. Buying books is not cheap. Here I am spending my income on a hobby, and it was an obsession. It was an addiction. So I was probably spending more than I would like to admit on magic, because it was literally an addiction. I already learned that. I need to learn a new one. So books kind of slowed me down. Books are, you buy one book, that'll last you a year. So my wife is a stay-at-home mom, hardest job in the world.
It is. And we both, Marshall and I, have been stay-at-home parents.
Okay, so I wanted to be there. I want to be there. I want to help. How do I do that? Well, the answer is go perform one show in a week for a school, and that's the same income as my engineering week.
Word. Heard that.
So that's kind of what I put in perspective. Things were starting to slowly pick up and go. For example, I had the Riverside Park in Cambridge, the big Optimus. They were going to make a big sign for me. It was going to be my big break. And then, I'm not complaining. Everybody has their problems. But I felt like that was going to be my big yes out. It's my hometown. Maybe I can get more and more, and it just goes. Because some months are great. I'm booked solid, but other months, not so much. So it's not sustainable. So I still do work. But my goal is... To flip the switch one day.
And that Riverside Park, that was canceled because of the pandemic.
Correct.
Yeah.
Actually, I lost all my shows. So I do lots of festivals, lots of fairs, lots of living room parties for children, theater shows. I rent KW Little Theater, Kitchener-Waterloo Little Theater, and it's just all evaporated. So thankfully, I do have another source of income. But I was trying to make it switch so that it wasn't the primary. Magic was the primary, and maybe I would do some. The hobby becomes the full-time
income replacement.
You got it.
Be there with the wife and kids.
Yeah, because I think time is more important than anything.
It is. It's our most valuable resource.
Yes, but I also know that you need money.
Yes.
So here I am.
It's also a valuable resource.
What's the worst of the two evils, right? So if you can make money having fun, that's kind of where I saw it. And my wife does balloon animals or face painting. She's an amazing artist, so she helps me with magic. Like it's a family. I wanted it to be a family. I want a one household that's a circus, and that's us. And you hire us, and we come entertain. And my little one can do juggling, like that's where I'm at. We want to do entertaining. The business side of things is easy for me because of all my past history of project management and getting the contracts. That's easy, and the performing's so fun. So why wouldn't I want to do that full time?
I love it. I'm just absorbing. I'm absorbing.
I recently watched JP Magic on Rogers TV. This was recorded pre-COVID.
They're older segments. JP is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, and something I really appreciated that he did. I can read lots and lots about magic, and I'm just in awe of it, and it's so mystical. But JP will show how to do a trick, just a small trick. And the thing I take away from it is the amount of practice that's involved with sleight of hand.
Yes.
Is just unbelievable. I can't even fathom how many times you have to practice something.
Relentless.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah.
You're right. Sleight of hand is the hardest because there are self-working card tricks where you can organize. I don't want to give too many secrets away, but I could organize the deck in such a way and cut and make it look like I'm cutting and then place cards in certain ways, and then all the 4 aces come up. Or I can do it with sleight of hand. The first way is lots of precursors for error. I have to give lots of instructions. I'm touching the cards. It looks weird. No, don't do that. It's kind of awkward. Whereas if it's just in my hand and pick a card and you've picked an ace somehow and you've picked it, because it's sleight of hand, right? It's the only way it's going to fail is if you yourself, it'd be like forgetting how to ride a bike. That's how I always think of sleight of hand. Once you've practiced it so much, you'll never forget how to do it. And then it's muscle memory. So muscle memory to me is important because then when I'm performing, how does that trick go again? like, I don't have to do that. I already know the mechanics.
Right.
My hands are going to do it because I've ridden this bike before down this course.
It's also like playing instruments.
Absolutely.
The muscle memory kicks in
It
sometimes.
is just like a guitar,
Yeah.
an instrument. You learn it, you rewrite it in a way that you can understand, and then you defer to it many, many, many times, step by step. To me, it's like a Lego instruction kit. And that technologist background that I hold, magic was it for me because I have the ability, like solving a Rubik's Cube, for example. I taught myself how to do that when I was 21. And now they have cool tricks that you can do with Rubik's Cubes. But the precursor is you have to know how to solve them. Yes.
Right.
You
yeah.
know?
So you've got that memory in there.
Yeah. So
So when you're solving a Rubik's Cube, it
Yeah.
is that you're not thinking, okay, 2 clicks this way. It's like you kind of let go and let that muscle memory happen sometimes.
sometimes if I'm thinking too hard, I have to start over.
Oh, really?
Like, or if somebody kind of is asking, how are you doing that? Well, I have to turn it this.
Yeah, I've
I lost
then.
it.
Yeah.
It's complete muscle memory of, here's a pattern. I know what to do with this pattern. Now do this sequence of events. Once you get past that sequence of events, do the next sequence of events. And it's like a subroutine of a computer program, and we're just computer programs. So I've adapted my learning style to the magic that I perform so that I don't have to think about how the trick works. I just have to think about what you're thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Can you?
No, I could do one side of a Rubik's Cube.
Can you?
Yeah.
I used to pop it apart and then put it back together. That's the limits of my. I don't know if they pop apart anymore.
They definitely do.
Do they? Okay.
They
All
definitely
I thought
do.
that was pretty.
Scott,
pretty
you brought some tricks with you.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I brought a few. Would you care to see one?
Yeah, of course.
Well, in front of me here, I have some coins. I have 2 pennies, and we don't use pennies anymore, but I'm a cheap magician, so I need all the money that I have in the bank, and you can't use pennies anymore.
Yeah.
I have kids. I don't know if I mentioned that. Anyway, I have these pennies, and I also have a nickel. Now, I used to do virtual shows, so I've drawn a red dot on that nickel because the camera wouldn't pick up the shiny. So there's,
Right.
and I just haven't erased it yet. I actually forgot. I haven't performed this since then. But anyway, I also have these covers. They're like little coin cases. For those at home who cannot see, there is a penny on the left, there is a nickel in the middle, and then there's a penny on the right. And then in behind it, there are 3 covers. I'm about to put these 3 covers over the 2 pennies and the nickel. And all you have to tell me is where the nickel is, guys.
It's in the middle.
It's in the middle. Very good.
Okay. I win. No, I'm just kidding.
But now I'm going to play some trickery on you, and I'm going to move it.
Okay.
So currently right now, I think you know where it is. Where is it now? I've moved them around.
I think it's in the middle.
Yeah, it's back in the middle.
Let's see. Okay, you're good. We all know how the game works. We've
Yep.
established this, right? This is
Yep.
like one of those betting games where you cannot beat the magician. Now, I'm a humble magician, so we're not going to play for money. We'll just play for fun. But this is one of those tricks where you can't beat the magician no matter what you choose. So
Okay.
don't let that, or maybe you want to let that sink in.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not even sure.
Okay, so right now it's in the middle, and we've got the pennies. Where are they? They're on the outside. Now, I'm going to mix it around. I did it a little bit faster. Marshall, where is the nickel?
Right in the middle still.
You know what's funny? You didn't see it jump over to the right here.
Oh.
Yeah, now not a lot of people do. Didn't see it jump.
Okay.
So I'm going to help you guys. Inside of this wallet here.
Guys, it wasn't in the middle.
Inside here. There it is here. I have a little Google eye. You know, one of those little arts and crafts
Oh, yes,
Google
a
eyes?
googly eye.
Yeah, so the nickel is actually on the right side, my right. I'm going to place the Google eye on top so that we can see it, okay? Now I'm going to move it again. And ask you the same question. Where is the nickel?
Under the googly eye in the middle?
Yeah, of
It
course.
should be. That's
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
But like I said, I'm a sleight of hand guy. So underneath there is actually
Come on.
a penny. So that's incorrect answer. This is a game that you cannot win. No, it jumps over to the right. I don't know why, but it always wants to jump over to the right. Now, we'll keep our eye on it. We'll mix it just once.
It's under the googly eye.
Yep.
It's under the googly eye.
Yep.
The nickel is under the.
No, it's
What?
a penny. I know. I don't know how that happened. So
I have not stopped looking, guys. It
Yeah.
is literally jumping.
Yeah.
So I've gotten rid of the 2 pennies that have come to fruition here. So what's underneath this last cap? This last cover. What's
Yeah,
under there?
the nickel.
The nickel. What's odd about that is it too is a penny. Now, double or nothing. I'm going to put the Google eye on there so we know which one we're talking about. Double or nothing. What's under there?
It's probably supposed to be the nickel, but I'm going to say it's the penny.
Yeah, it's a penny.
It's a penny? No, actually, it's a dime.
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, that's good. And
Amazing.
actually, to close the trick,
Yeah.
do you know where the nickel actually might have been or is?
No.
No, it's actually right in front of your noses this entire time. Do you remember this wallet here?
Yeah.
There it is there. Out of my reach.
So the nickel has appeared in a wallet out of Scott's reach in front of our faces.
Yep.
I'm going to applaud at this
Thank you.
time. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I did not see that coming.
No, and that's kind of a fun routine that I like doing. And usually, I can have people surrounding me, pushing on them, touching them. Like it's
Being
so
like,
fun.
"It's this one."
Yeah, and then they get so mad at me. I'm not a malicious guy, but you could use this in bar bets. So like, as a magician, people always ask me like, why don't you go
Use it for
get
evil.
a beer? And
Yeah.
I never do, and I never have. And I have done those things before in the past, but never with magic. I hold such a respect for magic that I would never do such a
Like
thing.
Superman.
Yeah,
right?
you own this gift.
Yeah.
And okay, so then I've also contemplated this fact that to some people magic's not real, right? But to some people it is real. Where do you find that border? And I have established a character that is, of course magic is real, but there was a time where I have said to a child, well, we all know magic's not real. And the look of devastation on that child's face, I didn't realize at the time. What I meant was, these are just tricks and fun, like, but no, like I'm crushing the souls of the innocent. It's almost like saying Santa Claus isn't real, and we all know he
He's
is.
real.
So magic is real. All of it is real. And then that's when things started to take off for me.
Right.
I was getting more bookings. My confidence was greater. You couldn't stop me on stage. Kids they used to say, I know how you did that. They don't yell that anymore because I've got this, I hold this confidence on stage that it's not that I'm not letting them talk.
Yeah, but if you believe in the magic.
And if I believe in it, now they go, wow, I have had kids, and I have it on recording because I record every one of my shows. And this was like one of my favorite pieces of rewatching the show with my family. I didn't know that this little girl said it because she was right by the camera. She goes, wow, magic is real.
Oh.
And I was just,
I've done it.
Yes.
I've restored the universe.
yes.
Yeah.
There are times where I've done a trick and you don't get any applause or reaction. And there's two things for that. They're either stunned because it was amazing and they've just not been conditioned to applaud. They're young children. Why am I going to applaud for this guy? So I have built-in cues to my show. For example, I say, guys, the first time I saw this, I had the exact same reaction and forgot to applaud.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then now they're conditioned for the entire show.
Yeah, they're like, oh, right, this is what we do now.
This is what we
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
And I'll wait.
Yeah.
And I'll even do this. And before I used to, I was gesturing like ta-da.
Ta-da!
Ta-da. I would, in my infancy, do ta-da
And move on.
and move on quickly. Now I do ta-da and look into the eyes of everyone.
Give me that love.
I want
Yep.
and then you condition your audience to a degree so
and
that
you're connecting with
it
them.
makes your performance so much better. You've now connected with them. I've been known to kind of jump out of stage and you're coming with me, let's go up, and whether you want to or not. And
It's happening.
yeah, so I think if you don't do those things and you're caged, and I've been like that too, you just got to let go. So if anybody's listening out there for the advice of not a magician, but anybody, like if you want to do something, just do it. Because chances are there's other people that are wanting to do it, but they're not doing it. So you're already ahead of the curve if you decide to just do it.
So you're talking about the passion and making that decision. Tell us about the fortune cookie.
Right. Yes, I had mentioned that. So before I was calling myself a magician, there was hurdles that you had to do to be able to call yourself a magician. One being, you're in this guild, you're in this magicians guild, the International Brotherhood of Magicians. I found a club and I quickly got into the ranks and became the president of said club. So I was the president of IBM Ring 235, which is the Kitchener-Waterloo Secret Magic Society, and that consumed a lot of my time. And then I got really busy with magic, so I didn't abandon them, but I stopped going as much, and I still do the website. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. What was the question?
I like where you're going with
Yeah.
this though, because then we wouldn't have known that part. We're leading towards the cookie.
The cookie,
Yes.
right. So before I was calling myself a magician, which was really important to me, because anybody could do that. You could show yourself a trick and say you're a magician. But to me, it was, I need to get paid to do magic to be called a magician. I need a website to get paid. Like, there's these prerequisites that I needed. And right at the time that I was about to start the venture, I was on the fence about it. How do I do any of this? And I was at a Chinese restaurant, and there was a fortune cookie. And inside of the fortune cookie, it says, you create your own audience, period.
Oh, wow.
And that was
it.
the next
I
day.
have goosebumps now.
Yeah, right? So the next day, I literally made a website. My background of being a technologist, it was easy for me, but I don't have any pictures of me performing magic. I don't even have a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some stock images and created a Facebook account that was a business account, not really knowing what I was doing. And a week later, I had a request on the Facebook account. A couple requests from my online submission forms. I went out to Value Village and bought a bunch of what I thought looked like magician clothes, built a wardrobe, and never looked back, and got very busy in magic. I was performing 2-3 times a week.
Thank goodness for that fortune cookie.
Honestly, I have it at home. It's laminated.
And your website is a beauty.
It
It's
is.
like a,
Oh, thank you.
you look like you're in Las Vegas. Like it's
My wife took that
powerful.
picture.
Like, yeah.
My wife took
Great.
that picture. So part of my success in magic is not all from me. My wife trims my clothes. She dresses me.
What's your wife's name?
My wife's name is Jacqueline, but I call her Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
She'd make an amazing guest with her balloon animals.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, the sound.
yeah.
You got to cut that in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and she helps me with the balloon animals. I can't do them. I pop them. As good as I am with sleight of hand,
Yeah.
I get so frustrated with balloon animals. So if usually it's mothers that book me. If the mother asks, "Can you do balloon animals?" or if the fair is like, "I need you to do 2 hours of balloon animals," yeah, I can do that. Big
Let
stretch.
me call Jackie, see if she's available.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, she can do sewing. She can do painting. So if I need a prop that's damaged or defective, she fixes all that stuff.
great.
Like, she just knows how to do. Oh yeah, I can take care of that for you, and make the kids lunch and do all these other amazing things. So yeah, so we're partners in crime on that regard. So it's fun.
That's fantastic. That is living the dream. It really is. I kept a fortune that I got a few years back that said, "You will be the envy of all your pears." Pears.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does Jackie get sawn in half in the
that would be fun.
lady in half trick?
So that's an expensive illusion.
Is it?
And I have a very small house that's 107 years old with no garage. I, as much as I like that illusion, A, cannot afford it. B, it doesn't fit my performance style. I'm more of a comedy magician as opposed to an illusionist. I would say that that's more of an illusion.
Yeah.
I have heard you bring up people being sawed in half more than once, though. I think this is a trick you enjoy.
Yeah, I've been to Masters of Illusion.
Oh, okay.
But I think the earliest memories I have of magic or illusions is a lady being sawed in half
Yeah,
on television.
maybe.
Yeah.
Me too. And the other one is one of my favorite tricks that I perform. It's the torn and restored newspaper, which I'll show you guys at the end.
We're
of
looking forward to
the
this.
segment.
Yeah.
But how that was keen in your memory of being, wow, that was a strong effect. The torn and restored newspaper was very strong for me. One of the reasons why I wanted to become a magician is because until you are accepted, good luck finding out how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like where do you start? Did you know that there are 9 magic shops in Canada?
No.
Did
But
you
we have
know-
one in town.
Did you know that 2 of them are within 100 kilometers of here?
Wow. So
Yeah.
we're a hot spot for the magic.
I couldn't believe it when I was sitting in bed one morning and said, I want to become a magician. I just want to learn some card tricks. I was always interested in card tricks. I would always play with cards and try to do things, get frustrated, put them in the drawer. So I said, no, you know what? I'm old enough now. So I didn't learn magic till I was 30. I'm 35. So I've actually not been in magic for very long. But they say an older magician knows the fast track. Like, I don't buy the stupid little silly things
Right.
that kids like. So there are tricks that kids have I don't even know how they work because I've never experienced them,
How
never
wonderful
seen
that
them.
you could be maybe enjoying that trick
And
one time.
I do, because when I go to kids' birthday parties, they're always like, let me show you my trick. And the parents are like, oh, he doesn't want to see it. And I'm like,
I do.
Get away from me. Yes, I do want to see this. How does that work? That's incredible. That's so cool, like, wow, oh, I have something similar, but it's derived from this. That's so neat to see the history of it, and I started with books and sleight of hand, and that's kind of, magic was really hard. Learning magic was hard, but it didn't need to be, because then I found other friends and peers. And like I said, the segue to that was, good luck learning magic unless you know somebody.
It's a club, right?
It is a club. So
what's your society called? The Secret?
It's the Secret Society, yeah.
Yeah.
The Magic KW Secret Society.
We're not going to just knock on the door and get told all the secrets, right?
Right. So it used to be called the Hat and Wand Club.
Oh, that's great. I like that.
As he rolls his eyes.
Yeah. How many women were in that club?
You know what's strange? It is, and another reason why I got out of it is it's a gentleman's club. It didn't resonate with me. It's a gentleman's club. You need to prove yourself, and I had to do that. So the third time I went to this club, before it was the Secret Society, when it was back in the older days, I had to, on the third time of going to this club, perform. I had to show them that I'm a magician, or else you're not welcomed. When I became president, I removed that rule. I said, if you're not comfortable in performing, I'm not going to cast you out of the club.
You're here to learn. We're here to teach.
And that's what was happening. So the club never grew. So the 6 people that were going when I discovered it, not me alone, but with the help of all my friends who were very passionate about magic, I was just leading the expedition with their help, standing on the shoulders of giants. Yeah. I did that and just was able to activate it. And we did. We had ladies starting to come. We had young children starting to come, and they were repeatedly come, not just come once and
they were in it.
They were in it. Yeah. So it started, and I bowed out when my life just got way too busy. Working full time, 2 kids. I got to take them to gymnastics. Before it was, my wife could stay home. She's breastfeeding. They're on the couch. It's winter. It's not a big deal. But now it's. No, we got to go there. We only have 1 car. We have a single income, single car. So my life became busy, and I was turning myself inside out. So I still perform magic, but only if I don't sell my soul for it anymore.
Right. As you shouldn't.
No.
You've put the work in.
Yeah.
You'll have the chops to be in the secret societies.
Right.
You don't need to sell your soul anymore.
And that's kind of, as much as I love performing and I always tell people, like, well, if they say that's too much money. I hate making magic about money, but it is a business, and it's basically, a company like Manulife has a higher budget than a company that has like 10 employees, but they still want to have a Christmas party.
That's right.
So I do offer that I'm able to meet budgets. I'm starting to adopt a model that it can't go below a certain point, but if the show's the show, it should be, this is the price of the show and this is the value. The other side of the coin to that is I probably wouldn't be getting booked if I didn't bend my rules a little bit and say, well, what is your budget? I can form factor in a show that, maybe I only do a 30-minute act and we don't do balloons. If you have a sound system, that I can, yep. I'm willing to work with you here, as opposed to just, I can drop my price. End of story. Like there's got to be two ways to that transaction.
As Marshall and I have been self-employed artists, and Marshall's right. Like, we have played this game for years and years and years. I do find that most people in our region will pay for a service and pay its value. I once tried to hire a clown, Cricket the Clown. Everyone's familiar with Cricket, for my child's birthday party. And when she told me the price, I said, you know what? I get it, and that you are worth this money, but I can't do that for this party. And
right.
I want to tell you right away so you can try and book something else.
And see, that's honest feedback. And that's all I'd be looking for, too.
And you're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
you 100, mm-hmm. But I didn't understand that that's what this costs. And I'm not going to try
and I've had those emails as well, and I will still reply almost with the same sentiment. Some people are belligerent about, wow, you make more than a lawyer. And it's like, well, can you do this?
Yeah, but I'm also not working 80 hours a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, can you do this? Can the lawyer do this? Mm-hmm. It's like, this is entertainment. Entertainment is a higher value because not a lot of people can do it.
A lot of people can do it.
I think there's less than 1% of people in the world are magicians. Like 0.5%. I remember reading this somewhere. It was 0.5% of people in the world are magicians. Like that's
why there's only 9 magic shops in Canada.
Exactly.
And the societies are secret.
And that's why the tricks are so expensive and the books are so expensive, because the market is so little.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they're not pumping out tons of these in a day.
No.
So Scott, does it work like this? A magician comes up with a new magic trick that nobody's seen before.
Okay.
And somehow it's out there and you see it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know how it's done.
Yeah.
And yet it's not maybe accessible to you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there magic tricks out there right now that have been invented in recent years that you have seen? You know they're out there, but you don't have any way of...
You have no way of confirming that you know how it's done. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's another reason why I'm a magician, is because it tortured me not knowing how these things were done. I don't know if you're familiar with the show Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Yep.
So Penn and Teller are very famous Las Vegas magicians, and as a magician, aspiring magician, or whether you're professional yourself, and you have said trick that you've just described, and you want to go show it off, and you want to fool these two so that you get an act in Vegas. So a lot of that show is that. But then, oddly enough, a year later, you can buy that trick because the inventor of the trick wants to make money.
For sure.
And because they're now famous, they can sell their trick much better than anyone else. And you'd be surprised with magic when you discover that, that's how they do it. So many times. But other times, you get this Christmas morning feeling. That is so cool. Wow. How did anyone think of that?
Do you think it happens more with illusion tricks then?
No.
So it doesn't matter?
It can be cards.
Okay.
I don't like illusions. So when you asked me about the cutting in half, I like that particular effect. But that's maybe the only one. I have a very good friend, Ryan Joyce, who's an illusionist, and he does cruise ships, and I do the backstage. I'll build the illusion sometimes, or I'll run whatever he needs me to run. So I have an appreciation for it. Before I was like, it's just you get in the box and this happens.
There's more to it,
there's mechanics, there's timing, there's choreography, there's instructions, there's headsets, there's so many moving parts.
I assume there's lightning fast things happening.
Lightning fast.
That have to be practiced a million times.
Just as much as the sleight of hand,
Yeah.
if not more, because you have to then watch it on a camera, because I can see myself in a mirror doing these things and I can do it over and over and over. But when you have this illusion that has maybe some fire involved, some pyrotechnics, and you go to do a rehearsal of this effect, it's expensive, and you have to have the stage set up to do it. So I don't have those resources. So I just knew the magic that I want to do is basically close up, so that I could perform an hour's worth of a deck of card magic for you guys. It would be boring, but I could do it.
Sounds exciting.
Well, I could do it, but I didn't want to do it either. The other stuff, this magic that I do, and why I'm missing the interaction, it was so hands-on. Kids are grabby. So are adults.
I think adults are more grabby than kids.
Because they have this, and adults that they have this right, and I'm doing quotations in there, they have this right to, let me see that. Let me see that. And they'll just take it from your hand. So I learned very early on, these people have self-entitlement. I don't know why. The kids are going to grab your stuff. So if you don't want them to see it, it better be something that they can grab. So almost all of my magic, I'm 2 steps ahead. Whatever, say I needed to hide something, it's already hidden before they go to grab what they think is not there anymore, where they think it is. Through your words or through your actions or misdirection, there's so many different techniques in magic, which is why you're always learning something new. Oh, you can do the same trick, but do it differently to make it better. Like, I would never leave this out now I can. Like when I first started doing it, I had to put it away right away because people would come and grab it. Well, now I perform the trick so well and differently that I can just leave it out, because I don't.
You know where you're at.
I know where I'm at with it, and I don't. No one's gonna there's nothing to bust here.
These are coins that are.
They're just coins.
Yeah.
So, but before, maybe it was a special coin. I would have a hard time of. You know when people break into your house in movies, when they break into your house and they're like, "Where's the safe?" I don't know, and they look right at it. Magic is very much like that. The magician gives away all the tells.
Yeah.
Don't look. Oh, he looked there. Darn it! Don't do that next time. So through failing forward, I use this term. I actually had a boat that I named Failing Forward because I forgot to put the plug in. I almost lost it. I sunk it. failing forward.
This is a true story.
Absolutely true story. The first boat I ever bought. So I have a cottage.
Yeah.
And the first boat I ever bought was a 1992 bow rider, fiberglass.
I actually know what that is.
It was an old like ski boat,
Yep.
but it was in immaculate condition. And I went to Windsor, and me and my buddy picked it up, and we brought it to the cottage. It's a family cottage, my mom's. She said I could launch it and put it out in the water. So we sparkled it all up, launched it into the water, and I don't know, I was pretty young, I guess, but I had never owned a boat. I put the plug in the live well, which is where it would draw water in. If you were to catch a fish, it would suck in the water. Well, I plugged that hole, not the hole that drains the actual boat water when you take it out. So here it is sitting in the water for about an hour. I'm putting in the life jackets, getting everything ready, looking at it, taking pictures, and go to take off in it, and it just wouldn't go. Like, it was so heavy full of water, and it was an inboard outboard, so the engine's kind of tucked away, and I take the cover off, and I'm like in knee deep in water. What is happening right now? And it was just a disaster. So after recovering it, getting it to the shoreline, we had a sticker made up called failing forward. And I use that term in my performances. Like, I should coin the phrase.
I think you should write a book eventually, and the title should be Failing Forward
yeah.
by Scott Boyd.
Yeah, because if you don't learn from your mistakes, I mean, I always tell my kids, I'm like, I'm fine if you've made, like, if that happened, you spilled your juice, that's fine. What did you learn from it? Don't bring the juice into the living room. It goes on the table. But I mean, like, I'm not going to get mad about it.
There's no point.
But the second or third time, I'm going to get a little bit more strict. So I kind of adopt that kind of mentality towards my magic.
Maybe you're a little bit easier on yourself that way then, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when I first started doing magic, I had to fool you. For whatever reason, it was very important that I fooled you. Now it's not. The mission is, did we have fun? Do you know how I did it? Oh, maybe, good. You can think about that. I'm not going to tell you if you do or not. Like, I'm not going to give you that answer. It's great if they're like, obviously, you're not a good magician if you're not fooling people. But perhaps,
it's not your goal.
But perhaps you made a flash. I'm a human. I'm not perfect. And a flash would be, I'm holding something in my hand and somebody saw it from a bad angle. But maybe 80% of the other people didn't see it. I've learned to perform for the 80% of the people, and the 20%, I'm sorry, you're not going to like me as much. You don't think I'm as good. Then there's also times where I let this person in on it. I say, you know the secret, right? And I wink at them, and they do, and then I just shh.
Yeah, because they're in
and now they're in on it.
They're in cahoots.
And when they're in cahoots,
it.
There's no sabotage. So
Yeah.
I was always getting sabotaged in magic too by young children. Let me see that deck of cards, or you ask them to pick a card, and then they pick the top one, or like you just don't want them to do that, right? Like, that top one's important to me. Don't pick that one. Oh, you really want
It's
that
my favorite one. Don't touch it.
So through failing forward of, if I keep doing the same thing and I get the same outcome, you're not learning. So magic's very much that. This trick, although I've performed it for the last 5 years and it generally has the same theme, you could have guessed wrong. Back to the coin trick I'm pointing at.
Oh, and gotten it right.
But you would never be right, even
Right.
if you were right.
Oh.
Like, even if you were legitimately right that it was there.
Okay.
I can make it so that it's not there. Like, you
Yeah,
can
I
never
would-
win.
Would you know? I would never know.
And to explain the secret of how this one works, I can't do it. But but that's what the part of magic was for me, is if you think you know it, how do you know it?
Right.
So magic was, I need definitive proof, and I need it in writing. So it was books. It was meeting with magicians. And it was, my favorite thing to do is jam night with magicians. We go to a bar or a pub. I like beer. I like to drink beer. So we go to a bar or a pub that we pick collectively, and the 4 or 5 of us that are really good friends show tricks to each other and explain how they work. And although the people show me their tricks that they do, I wouldn't perform them because it's not my style.
Right.
And the ones that I show them, they can't do because it's sleight of hand that they haven't learned.
But you say jam night, and that's almost, again, like musicians. Like, you're not
Yep.
going to try and copy somebody else's song exactly how they do it.
Right.
But you might pick up some of the style or the techniques, or maybe
And-
some words that are said.
For sure. And how do you put that to your own performance? because I'm what you would call an amateur magician, although, I'm professional in the sense to anyone around here. If I were to go to Las Vegas, I'm not a professional magician by any means. I would probably have a hard time doing a stage act unless there was a million kids in that audience. I'm not an only adult performer. I'm good in smaller houses and rooms, and I have really good success doing card tricks at tables. So your company would hire me, and before dinner I will do card tricks to each table. They're mini performances of 10 people. It's not that I'm overwhelmed by a lot of people. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of setup that you have to do for a stage show.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's a normal response, right?
Hey, what else did you bring in the crate?
What else did I bring in the crate? Okay.
Is it so hard not to ask that every couple of seconds?
I've got some milk.
Oh, we've got some milk. We've got,
I have an empty bag.
yeah, that is empty.
This is my lunch bag.
Okay.
My wife didn't pack a lunch today. It's just one of those brown paper bags for those listeners at home. But this is one of the tricks I used to do. I don't know. We go camping a lot, so you bring your lunch bag with you with whatever you've got for camping for the day. I bring an invisible deck of playing cards. That's what I keep in this bag. You can see it inside.
Yep.
Empty.
It's empty. Well,
Yeah.
it's invisible. So here, I'm going to pass it to you.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here, I've taken it out. There's actually nothing in my hand because it's invisible. I can feel it. I'm going to pass it over on the table here.
Yep.
Slide her down to you, Marshall.
Yep.
And could you please pick up the box and open it up
All right. Yep.
and take out the cards? Now there's 52 in there. There's no jokers because, quite frankly, I think there's enough in the room.
Sorry.
Yep.
I like using that joke. That's not my joke, by the way. I don't know
It's
whose
all right.
it is.
It's classic.
But it is a classic
Yeah.
one.
Well, you did invent failing forwards. So.
Okay, Marshall, you have a deck of cards that is imaginary. It's invisible in your hands.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not even going to pretend that I can see it. This is just trickery, okay?
Yeah.
But if you use your imagination, pretend that there were, you can sort through the cards. You can shuffle them up.
Yep.
And just make sure that all 52 are there.
Yep.
And you can just kind of hold that up.
Like in a fan?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And would you do me a favor? Can you just imagine,
one?
just pick one out? No, but you can just sit there and pick one
Okay.
out. Just pretend that your arm reaches that far. Okay, now you've got one of those cards.
I've got one.
All right, look at it. Keep it to yourself. All right. Now, I want you to turn it around face down
Okay.
and then put it back into that deck.
Okay.
So it's the only card facing up.
Yep. Did it?
Okay?
Yep.
Now shuffle it up so you've lost it somewhere in
Okay.
there.
All right.
And like I said, I've got this bag in it. And actually on the outside of the bag, it's written the invisible deck of cards in black marker. So I don't confuse with the other ones that I have lying around.
Right.
You don't want to take an actual lunch bag. Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, can you just throw that back?
Yep. Sure.
Did you put it back in the box?
Oh no.
And just throw the box. Throw the box too.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, it's gotten in there.
Yep.
Now when you snap your fingers, it magically appears. And you guys are pretty close to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see it?
I see the invisible deck of cards.
It'd be pretty cool if it actually came to real life, right?
Yeah.
Well, in order to do that, you have to use a little bit of magic, but the other thing you need to use is tape.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird,
Does.
but if you take the IN off invisible, what does that make?
The visible.
It makes it visible, right? So if I take the in off invisible and put it in the bag and snap my fingers, it now becomes a visible deck of playing cards.
Come on, man. Scott just pulled a deck of cards out of the bag. There was nothing in that bag.
Yeah.
I am 6 feet away from Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, so red is the only decks that I use, but this is the deck that you were handling, Marshall. For
Yep.
the first time, could you please tell us? It's a closed deck.
Yeah, it's closed. The box is closed. It's not open.
Can you please tell us what your... I don't even think, Marshall, you don't know what the card is.
No.
I don't know what the card is.
You
For
don't.
the first time, and make sure I'm not touching this oddly. I'm just holding it in my hands.
By 2 fingers, you're holding it. Yep.
Please tell us, everyone, for the first time, what the name of your card was.
I had the 7 of hearts.
The 7 of Hearts.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, is there a reason why you chose the 7 of Hearts?
It just came to me.
It came to you. Well, interestingly enough, if you look through all of these cards, 7 of Hearts? Yeah, look at right there. They're all face up, except for one. There's one backwards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, what are the chances are that this here would be the 7 of Hearts?
can't
We'd all need to go out and riot the streets, right?
A little, yeah.
Okay, guys, check it out.
Come on, man.
7 of Hearts.
Come on. There was nothing in that bag. Then you open, and I imagined a card. Is this the card that people imagine? Is it statistically this card? Don't answer that if you don't want to.
It literally could be any card.
Okay.
Yes.
My mind is blown.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
I don't even want you to tell me. I know you can't because of secret societies, but I have no idea how you could have accomplished that.
So you know how you say JP, you always thought it was great that you teach a trick. I too adopted that model because you don't want to leave a party, and especially for young kids, or if there are adults that are like, oh man, I think magic's so cool. That you get a few of them. Where do I start? And you get them down the rabbit hole. And there's been a few that come out to the club after. I take pride in knowing that I've helped them on their journey. But the kids, when you leave the party, we want more magicians. How do you do that? Everyone says, I saw a magician when I was 5 years old. Well, if I'm that first magician that they see, I want to be good, but I also want to show them something that they can do.
You want to let them in a little bit.
I want to let them in.
Reveal that curtain.
Yep. So I show them how to palm something that you can, for example, take a coin, put it into that hand, and it's not. It never really left. I don't do this as a. Wait,
but I just got tricked.
So
what just happened there?
So yeah, if you take the coin and you have it in your right hand, and then you put it over into your left hand and snap your finger, it actually disappears. But it never left this hand, and it's a retention thing where you, as it goes to fall in, you curl it into your fingers. And you point to it and you gesture and it's gone. But you could have made this go so many different places. By the time kids are like grabbing onto your hand,
get in there.
So they want to get in there, right? So you just kind of do that and it's already gone. So
you'll
I'll show them
this
something like that
and get them to say, go home and practice that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other one is coin through table. So you can adopt that same thing where you put it like that and then it goes through the table, right? It's the same trick, but...
That's what you say, but I think that just went through the table.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's important to not ridicule your audience. You don't want to be the smartest guy in the room, or let people know that you're the smartest guy in the room. I'm not saying that I am.
No, but if you're talking about magic in that room,
you are.
Yeah.
So, but you don't want to. You want to be humble. You need to be humble. So there's been times in my life, in my engineering background, where I was not humble. My kids taught me a lot of patience. My wife has. I've taken a life coach. I've taken counseling. I'm all about learning, and I think it's important that if you know about a lot about yourself, it's easier for you to learn. There are certain magic tricks that I have bought that I just know I can't perform, and I've wasted my money, but I'm not going to waste my time trying it. I don't know if that really makes sense for people.
It totally makes sense. I can relate to that.
Because why would you frustrate yourself with something that I spent $50 on and muddle your way through it? So to me, the books were I spend $50 and I get a 1 in 40 chance that I'm going to like one of those, So if any listeners are out there and want to learn magic, I encourage books first. Figure out what you want to learn. Is it coins? Is it cards? Is it stage? And go from there. Like start with a book. Mark Wilson's Course in Magic. That has over 350 different types of tricks, whether it's coins, cards, and it's $20 on Amazon.
Wow. And does it start sort of like, here's where we begin?
Oh, it's all beginner stuff.
Yeah.
And it shows you how to make things. I refer to it because now that I'm starting to know more about my style of magic and what I like to do for magic, I go back to that book and I remember that trick. I don't want to know the trick. I want to know how did he retain the piece of information, or how did he store the envelope in such a way that he could read the word. And then how do I know what the trick I want to do. I want to make this go to there. But how do I do that? I refer to this book. Oh, I remember seeing something in here. Yeah, this right here. It's It's a manual. Yeah, you've got it. It's a manual. That is a very good way of putting it. It is a beginner's guide to magic for those who don't know really what they're doing, but it's so well in depth of information that I'm assuming even professional magicians would not knock it. And Mark Wilson's a very, very prestigious magician.
Amazing.
Scott, with the bit of time we have left, can you fill it with magic for us?
Okay, I have 4 cards with me here. They're 4 kings. You're just going to have to take my word on it, okay? Because I'm not going to show you. And through a series of events that we go through, we're gonna deduce to one card, okay? But you may or may not believe the outcome.
Okay.
We'll start. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. There are red kings and there are black kings. Hearts, diamonds, shovels, and cauliflowers. Right? Marshall, do the first honors. Red or black?
Black.
Black. Okay, we're going to erase all of the red cards. They're gone.
Okay.
So now we've only got black kings in there.
So Scott's rubbed the...
Sorry, yes, I should describe what I'm doing.
The back of the card, and he's erasing the red.
It's a magical gesture.
Yes. Magical gesture.
Yes. I did not bring a magic wand. If anybody's like kind of trying to envision, I'm just using my hands. So we've gotten rid of the red cards, and we only have black because that's what you wanted. Okay, now you have the ultimate choice of spades or clubs.
Can I pick cauliflower?
Cauliflowers.
Clubs, please.
Now, do you want me to erase them or keep them?
Keep them.
Okay. So here we go. I'm rubbing the back of the cards, and we're erasing the spades. So now there's only clubs. When I snap my fingers, twist the cards, you'll see that your card flipped up forward.
It did.
And
it's there.
And it's the only one that's facing up. So there's 3 red cards facing down still. But what's really weird is the back of this card is blue.
Oh, wait a minute.
And that's the only one you picked. Further to the story, it is actually the only king in the deck because the faces of these cards are blank.
How did you know I was going to pick that card, man?
I told you. Didn't you think that would be a weird outcome?
Yep. You got me.
Yeah.
I did not see you have a blue card. I can't imagine that you have 3 blank cards and the card that I wanted, even though it's at a 4.
And he could have said red.
He could have said red.
And you could have chosen, I
Shovels.
asked you, do you want to pick shovels or, So, I mean, so those are things that, you might be able to sleep at night, but I can't.
No,
when somebody
you
does
need
this
to
to me,
know.
I need to know. And
Thank goodness Sarah's here to describe this because I'm just speechless. I'm just blown away. But
Yeah, that's, I mean, again.
Thank you. Yes.
Woo! Yeah.
And part of my show sometimes, so you remember I was talking about the cues earlier, and I would say, the first time I saw this, I didn't, I forgot to applaud as well. The other thing I like to do is, because I like to poke fun of the parents, because they're kind of the instigators of a lot of things.
For sure.
I say, now guys, if there's something that you like, but you don't want to fully commit to a clap, you can give me a pity applause, and it looks like this, and I do a one-handed clap, and then I say, because I know you're doing it, that's good for me, but your neighbor doesn't know, and that's good for you.
That's fantastic. Oh, kids love that stuff. I mean, grown-ups love that stuff too.
Yeah, I'm a big kid, so my wife, in another part of the show, I say, I talk about my kids and my wife, and I say my wife actually technically has 3 kids. She only has 2 naturally.
But ta-da!
Yeah, that whole acting thing. I mean, I didn't take acting classes, but I took drama class, and what a fun time. I mean, like, I was a very introverted kid. I played on the hockey team. I didn't do magic at this time. Hockey was a lot of my main focus in life, and I was good at school, math in particular. All that stuff came easy to me, and I never went to school. I just didn't go. I never went. I think magic would have really helped me as a child. Stay focused, and so now I try to. Anyone I meet, if they want to see a trick, I'll spend however long they're willing to watch. I will perform. Because I don't want to give bad tastes of magic in anyone's mouth, because I've seen magicians ridicule people, make them feel little. All those no's, I do the opposite.
Yeah.
My kids show, if you ever seen it, they do everything. They do the magic. They're getting the applause. They're getting the heroes. They make it happen.
You're spreading the love.
You spread the love,
Yeah.
and then they'll love you, right?
Yeah.
And like, thank you, Mr. Magic. I get hugs after the show. It's great,
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's all. I love that.
Scott's about to do a final trick, and there's this beautiful evening sunlight coming
I know.
in
I should
and
take a
shining
photo.
off him. Yeah, no kidding.
Got this golden hour. I'm taking another picture. This is a COVID distance magic trick photo happening.
Okay, you guys ready?
We're so
Yeah.
ready.
Okay.
What's this trick called?
So this is the Torn and Restored newspaper. For
Okay.
obvious reasons, I've brought the Arts in Life. Arts in Life, I think it should say, but Arts and Life. magicians often ask what's real and what's illusion. You know, we were talking about the suspension of belief. This newspaper is very real in the fact that with your senses, you can feel it, you can see it,
You can hear it.
you can hear it, you can smell it. Just so the audience knows that I am just handling a newspaper. I'm going to go through the pages of the newspaper so that you guys can see. What do we got there?
What's the Beebs up to?
Yeah.
Is he in there? Yep, there he is.
He's in there.
Some couches. I'm
Yep.
just going through the second page. And then the last page, some comics and some crosswords. And on the front page, the arts and life. And on the back page, a crossword. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is I just want you to look at a word or a phrase or something in there, you know, Justin Bieber or anything like that will do. Because I'm going to show you something that I've already described. It's a torn and restored newspaper. And the reason I do this is this is not part of the act. It's very visual magic, so it's the first thing I do in my show. So this isn't part of the trick. I'm just letting you know the background. It establishes a connection with the audience that, A, I don't need an audience member to join me. You can just watch. And boy, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else can he do? So this is my opener.
Okay.
So we often like to wonder, us being magicians, what's real and what's illusion. This newspaper is real. But this is what's not real.
It's ripping it in half, and it is ripped in half.
Yeah, it just sounds like that. It's actually part of the illusion. It looks like that. I'm really going to try and sell this for you.
More ripping happening, and it's ripped.
Okay. And at this point, I'd be walking in front to where anybody is and offering for them to grab on a piece and do the same thing.
So
Now, it's a matter of where you rip it and how you rip it to make it look like it's not ripping. So in my left hand, I know it looks like I have a bunch of pieces, and in my right hand, that's nowhere near my left hand, I know it looks like I have a bunch of pieces.
you do have okay.
It just looks like that,
Okay.
though, okay? Let's see here. And if you put them like that back together, rip even further, I would hand those for you for examination, but I don't think I need to.
Nope. And
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that that's a pile of
This
pieces.
is just a pile of paper we're going to start a fire with, right? But then I often ask a different question. Oh, boy. How big?
It's a lot of
Sorry, I
pieces.
dropped some pieces of paper. Well, I made it look like that, at least. How big is your imagination? I mean, mine's pretty big. Ask my wife. She has 3 kids, 2 of which are mine, and she does not have another child with any other man. So you put that together. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
For the finale, I give to you the torn and restored newspaper on the
Okay.
count of 3. 1, 2, 3. What is happening here? There we go.
What? Scott, that is insane.
Fully
right.
restored.
Totally restored, but let's just go through and make sure.
There's the Beebs.
Is the Beebs there? Yeah, he is there. What else have we got? There's that couch.
Yep.
And on the inside, we have the crosswords and the comic books.
Scott ripped this paper to shreds, and he is holding the entire section intact. He blew on it, and it's back together.
Yeah.
And that is magic, people. That
Thank
is
you.
magic. Scott, thank you so much for coming. This has been so enjoyable.
Magic is real.
Magic is
It definitely
real.
is. I mean, thank you so much. This has been more fun than a performance to a degree. I didn't know what to expect, so thank you for you guys are so amazing. The smiles on you guys' face just is such a welcoming feeling. Thank you so
You've
much.
got a good crowd here. We're fans for life now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We hope you come back and talk to us again sometime.
Anytime.
Awesome.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
That was crazy, dude.
Stay like you could just have everybody yell.
Hey all, thanks for meeting us in Bonn Park. Please like, rate, and subscribe to our podcast on the platform that you're listening to. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Bonn Park Podcast. Original music by Alan Lung.